secret channel?
Quiet! It's starting.
The 21st century is one of the most blinded spots in history. Although it was the time of the biggest data collection, it's also the time we know the fewest about. Responsible for that was the big data delete in 3046, as RoboKing B2 Second III became insane by an hacking attack. All we know for sure is his order to delete all digital information ever existed. The great data loss of 3046 makes it hard for ecologists to explain the 21st century. It's like a riddle, not easy to be solved.
Hello, my name is Dr. Archaeological Dinosaur History Wilson. My archaeological team and I are here at the excavation site of the ancient Berlin. A long time Berlin was just a myth and nobody knew if it existed for real, even if there were lots of proofs from previous centuries. But then, 3 years ago, Professor X-9 led an excavation on this spot here, which he had located through an old phone book from the 1960s. He and his team make a huge discovery. They digged on this particular spot over here, and when they turned around, they found these old city walls. These walls were a definite proof that somebody had built them. This area has proved to be a gold mine for archaeological discoveries. One of the most important items we found here is this little treasure.
Ah! Ja! So! Ja!
It's a personalized item of the Samsung Dynasty. We found similar items of the iPhone and the Nokia Dynasty. First we thought it was some kind of dark mirror where you could see your own reflection without the danger of getting sun cancer. But then we found several 100-year-old fingerprints on its surface. So people must have touched it a lot. There are two explanations for this. The 21st century was the age of narcissists. So we guess that the Samsung Dynasty used this item to touch their own reflection in deep love of themselves. The other explanation is that it was some kind of fancy towel. People in the 21st century were really afraid of bacteria. So probably they used this item to clean the fingers. We guess that this item had an antibacterial surface on its surface. Probably it was some kind of fluid which you could refill over here through this little hole here. Why are you scaring me like that? Can't you make yourself notice before tapping on my back?
Excuse me, Dr. Archaeological Dinosaur History Wilson, but we found something.
A thing which laid on the same spot for thousands of years. Hurry! This ancient item looks like dried grass, but...
Attention! I'm tapping you on the shoulder! It's over there.
This ancient item looks really well preserved.
Aha! Yeah!
The chemical sample, which we'll send to the laboratory, revealed that this item was used at very dry places. So we can exclude that it was diving equipment. It's also much too small to be a house or a train. So as there is no logical explanation left over, we guess that it was made for religious purposes. The shape of the bone makes it clear that it was dedicated to the god of war and death. Probably this item was poisoned. Sorry guys, I guess you will die this night.
Oh, but we didn't touch it.
People in the 21st century often poisoned items to make them more terrifying. Like for example, cigarettes, fast food and clothes collar. You can also put this little cap off and speak a wish inside.
The excavation site of Dr. Archaeologist Dinosaur History Wilson and her team revealed that Berlin must have been built in a smiley shape. The smiley shape seems to be a common shape for a city of the 21st century, as Wilson and her team found similar shapes of Paris, London, and New York. Still, we can't be completely sure if these cities weren't bigger, as it is possible that the smiley shape just appeared because that's the way Wilson and her team digged.
Although the 21st century was the age of digital technology, the weapons were still very simple and primitive. Like, for example, this fire mouse. It had a cotton corpus and a string on the bottom. You could drag this string and then drop the whole fire mouse into fuel. You set the fuel afire and then threw it like this on your enemy. There are also a lot more weapons which we found here, but they would take too much time to explain. There are many myths about Berlin. Stories like the one about the big television tower in its center, which sent thoughts of joy and entertainment to the people. Or the one about the wall, which divided the city into east and west to help the people with the cardinal points. But how much of these stories is true? We found this stone, but it gives us no clue about these stories. Probably the ruins of Berlin will always keep a part of its secrets.
This was an exciting episode of History Revealed. Watch also next episode with topic Jesus Dog. Did he exist and could he talk?
The end. Like and subscribe.